Hello everyone, and for tonight's equine learning segment, we're going to review a little bit about what we talked about last time when we showed you how you would lead a horse into the mounting area. Now that you have learned to do so, I'm going to go into more detail about how we actually get on the horse if you are the rider. So a few important things to point out first. Helmet. Always we want to have a helmet when we are mounting the horse or the equicizers, which I know you have seen in some past videos. We also, if you want to pan to my left, it is a path standard to always shut the gate when we are working in the arena, when we are riding or working with any of the horses in the arena. We always want to make sure those gates are shut so that we are completely enclosed, and that will keep us safe while we were riding. If anything were to happen, the horse cannot exit the arena. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have you observe Gail bring Victor into the mounting area, just as a little review as to what we did last time. Last time we had Dreamer. Today Victor is our participant. Good. So remember to stop and turn around. All right, I would also like to point out before I get up there that in a lot of cases, especially when you first come to ride at CTR, you'll have a team of volunteers with you. So when you're riding independently, you would be doing this, what Gail just did, by yourself. But when you first come to CTR, we have a team of volunteers for you. Someone is usually leading or standing on the off side of the horse, which Gail is going to show you and which we have talked about in previous weeks. Today, in my case, I'm going to show you how you would get on independently without a leader. Gail is going to stand on the off side, since that is a path standard that we always have someone supporting you on the off side to get on. So I'm going to take the reins from Gail. And before you get on, you want to put the reins over the horse's head, because you sort of need those to get on. Now, once you get on the horse, you want to make sure that you're ready to steer. If your horse happens to walk or try to move while you're getting on, and you have your reins down there like that, he can just walk off and you will have no control over him, and that is a huge safety hazard. So before you get on, you want to have the reins collected in your hand so that you're ready to steer as soon as you get on. They're supposed to hold still. They're trained to hold still while we get on, but you never know. You're always mounting from the left side. I know we have gone over this in the past. We do almost everything from the horse's left. I am going to put my left foot in the stirrup, and then I'm going to show you how I gently land on his back. So all of our horses will agree that they much prefer if you land gently on their back, which means supporting your upper body starting with your legs to keep you from slamming down on their back. So you want to land nice and gently. I'm going to put my left foot in the stirrup, and you can see Gail is putting some weight in the stirrup on the other side. And I'm going to land nice and gently in the saddle. A lot of times you'll see for lessons, we have you start with your feet out of the stirrups. Right now my feet are in the stirrups, since I'm riding by myself currently. So I am going to walk out of the mounting area. We're going to pause the video, and I'm going to show you how we mount from the lower block. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate mounting from the smaller block, and if you have ridden with us for several weeks and you have gained some experience, you might be able to do this part by yourself under the observation of a path instructor, of course. Since I got on him and got off of him, and he's been hanging out for a little while, I also made sure rubber reach. So you want to make sure that you have gained that upper body strength to be able to get on him without injuring him, that you can still land softly. Make sure you wear pants that give a little bit, because if your pants are tight, it is hard to get your foot in the stirrup. And he is one of our tallest horses. So, left foot in the stirrup. I'm holding the reins, and you're going to kind of take, it helps if you go 1, 2, 3. And I'm supporting myself with my upper body and sitting. Okay? A little review before I walk. My foot there is in a safety stirrup. You can see there's a curve on the outside. You want to make sure that curve is on the outside and that the stirrup is not turned the other way. Make sure I have my stirrup, and I'm going to walk on. We're going to pause the video and show you how to dismount. All right, so now that I have demonstrated how to mount from the 2 different blocks, we get a common question that I forgot to address in the beginning of why can we not mount the horse from the ground like the cowboys do? And the main reason for that is for the comfort and the safety of our horses. Mounting from higher off the ground gives you more support, but it also gives your horse more support. If you were to try and mount from the ground, odds are you would have to put so much weight and effort into that stirrup. The saddle could be forced off center, and then that would also affect your safety. So everything we do, from the second we walk into the arena and close the gates to having an offside person, instructor, or volunteer, is all about rider and horse safety. So for dismounting, we typically dismount right here in the arena. I am halted facing the letter A. Gail is standing by. We'll always have an instructor watching you do this, no matter how independent you are. So for dismounting, typically if you have someone leading the horse, you would put your reins down like this. But right now, in the case of me riding independently, I don't have someone leading him. So you want to make sure that you don't let go of the reins, because then he can trot off into the sunset while you're trying to get off. The most important thing you want to do first is take both feet out of the stirrups. That is very important. We don't want you to leave one foot in the stirrup, because once you get off, imagine how, think about how high my leg had to be on the mounting block. My leg is going to be so high up, it could get stuck in the stirrup. It could scare him. Nothing much scares him, but it could, if he got scared, he could take off with my foot trapped in the stirrup. So you want to make sure that both feet are out of your stirrup. If you've been riding for 45 minutes, your legs might be stiff, so it's good to roll them out, stretch out a little bit before you get down, because when you're getting off of a high horse, there could be a little shock into your leg if you jump down too hard. So the next thing I'm going to do, and we always tell everyone, don't rush this. Our horses are used to standing still. Take your time getting off and use the horse's body and your upper body strength to help lower you down. So I'm going to lean forward like I'm giving him a hug. I'm going to turn so that my stomach is in his saddle, and then I'm going to slide down. Slowly. You don't have to jump down. And he's pretty high up there. A horse like Tilly or Foxy's not so high up off the ground. Once you get off the horse, you want to run up your stirrups. I'm going to show you how to do that with Victor. We do this so that when we take the horse out into the barn, the stirrups aren't as likely to get caught on a gate or their stall. So we put their stirrups up, and in this case there's a hole that we can hook the stirrup leather into here. So the stirrup is up and out of the way. We will do that on both sides. So that is mounting and dismounting in a nutshell. and we'll see you in the next segment.